Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the Trillion Dollar Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. You know what today is? Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, y'all. We already did the pre-market brief, so now it's time for the market open. That is this show. The bell rings in 5 minutes. Tim Cook stepped down, y'all. Well, he steps down in September, but we know who's gonna take over. We did have some earnings. Before we do all that, let's get into the mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's get into Robert Greene's daily law for today, April 21st. Be merciless with your enemies. Never ignore a weak enemy, for they will become dangerous. Crush them completely. If you stop halfway, you only make them stronger. Judge your enemies and either convert them or exile them from your court. In this investing palace, your enemy is the losing trade you are attached to, or the company that is beating earnings but dropping afterwards, unless you plan on averaging down. Do not be merciful to a position that is failing you. If GE beats by 16% and the stock still drops, the market has exiled that stock for now. Do not fight price. Exterminate the bad ideas and banish the weak positions. And keep your court clean so you have capital to hunt the winners. Okay, I did not expect AI to do that summary when I told them to do it differently. If you want the full daily law for today, it was actually in the pre-market briefing. Stay patient, stay disciplined, execution over emotion, process over prediction. Let's check out some of these earnings. So basically, technical difficulties, y'all. You know, AI be messing up. Yeah, it's going to take over, but AI be messing up. All right, pre-market, we had United Health beat on earnings by 9%, beat on revenue by 2%. Currently up 9% in the pre-market, and it's out of the gap. Next, we had GE beat on earnings by 16%, beat on revenue by 8%, and as you can see, it's down 3% in the pre-market. Next, Northrop Grumman, small beat on revenue, small beat on earnings, currently down in the pre-market and dropping. Next, we had RTX Corporation, previously known as Raytheon Technology. Strong beat on earnings by 17.5%, beat on revenue by almost 3%, and it's just about break even from yesterday's close. After the market closes, we do have United Airlines and Capital One with earnings. All right, market's about to open. Y'all get ready. Let's get it. I got the new I got the new theme music, y'all. $1 trillion tickers. Watch the market unfold. Let's get it. All right. Market open, market open, market open. Damn, I keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. Market is open, y'all. April 21st, 2026, 6:30 a.m. California, stand up. You know, if we was on the East Coast, it would be 9:30 a.m. You know, I could sleep in, work out, have a smoothie, and then trade. You know how much easier that would be on me? I wonder if we check out the day traders, depending on time zone, whoever gets to wake up the latest actually has a better record. That's an interesting stat. But anyway, let's check out these prices, y'all. Where is price moving? All right, SPY is barely over break even. It is breaking a pre-market low right now to the downside. It's at 709.45. QQQ did break the pre-market low as well. Came all the way down to our 1 hour level here at 646.15 before it bounced. All right, the VIX. The VIX has gapped up since the market opened, and it's at 1924 right now. NVDA is barely under break even at 201.94. Tesla broke the pre-market low as soon as with this first candle, and it's currently down 0.5% at 390.21. Let me go ahead and get on the 1 minute chart. All right, next we got Apple down over 0.5% at 271.30. Google has broken below the smart money concepts resistance zone. It is down 0.33% at 336.29. Microsoft has broken the pre-market low, and it looks like it's headed to our next level here at 416.10. It is currently down almost 0.25% at 417.30. Amazon, which ran up crazy in the aftermarket with that Anthropic investment, broke pre-market lows, and it's still up though. It's up over 1.5% at 252.37. TSM is up almost 1%. It did break pre-market highs. It is at 369.39. Meta barely under break even. It did break pre-market lows. Came right down to our level here at 667.70 before it bounced. AVGO, it also broke below our smart money concepts resistance zone and came right down to it broke the pre-market low as well. Came right down to our level here at 396.70 before buying back up. It's currently down about 0.5% at 397.68. Berkshire.B is up almost 0.25% at 472.93. It did break the pre-market high before, but when it did break that pre-market high, you can see it did break our weekly level, but ended up rejecting right after and coming right back in. So that weekly level stood tall. And next we got Walmart. Walmart barely under break even at 127.89. Let's check out these market caps right quick. We got the most valuable company in the world, NVIDIA, 4.91 trillion, followed by Google, 4.05 trillion. Apple, 3.98 trillion. Apple want that 4 trillion back, y'all. Microsoft, 3.10 trillion. Microsoft is back in the $3 trillion club. Followed by Amazon, 2.72 trillion. TSM, 1.91 trillion. AVGO, 1.88 trillion. Meta, 1.7 trillion. Tesla, 1.46 trillion. Berkshire.B, 1.02 trillion. And Walmart, 1.01 trillion. Will Walmart pass Berkshire today? Walmart, they want it. They want to be right underneath Tesla, y'all. Let's see if they can make it happen. All right, next we got the Fear and Greed Index. We heavy in greed right now at 71. Heavy in greed right now, y'all. 71. All right, let's check out some of these other tickers we like to look at on the show. Let's go on a 5-minute chart. All right, we got SPX right here. It's barely over break even. Looks like it's about to turn red at 7,111. You got the NAS 100. Oh, look, new all-time high in the pre-market. Let me move that up there. There we go. All right, but it's currently barely under break even at 26,603. Shout out to that all-time high in the pre-market. Next, we got Dow Jones. Look, that thing gapped up right here from 2:50 in the morning to 2:55 a.m. That thing gapped up. So I think this is a gap fill play. If it comes down here to 49,595, if it comes into this gap, I gotta at least come in to here, which is 49,563, and then completely fill in the gap here at 49,551. Let me go ahead and draw that on there. It's the case. Any of y'all trade YM? That's your trade. All right, next we got the Dow Jones ETF. It's up 0.5% at 496. The VIX is still running at 1933. 10-year Treasury yield is climbing slowly at 4.28. Gold is down 1% at $4,774 per ounce. The gold mini shares trust is down almost 1% at 49.48. Silver is down almost 1.5%. The copper miners ETF is down 1%. AMD is so strong. I think AMD hit all-time high. Nope, not today. Yesterday, right? Yeah, AMD hit an all-time high yesterday, y'all. In the first candle of the day. It's currently up 1.75% at 280 right now, y'all. Next, we got Bitcoin at 75,855. We got IBIT. It's at $43. Ethereum, $2,305. BMNR, $22.47. Palantir, $146.07. Robinhood, $89.12, y'all. All right, let's check out some of these ETFs we like to look at on the show. You got IWM. IWM hit all-time highs today, y'all. It's up a 40%. SPYM is barely over break even. QQQM is barely under break even. SPYG is down fractionally. SOXQ is up almost 1%. TQQQ is barely over break even. SOXL. SOXL hit all-time highs, y'all. SMH. SMH hit all-time highs, y'all. SOXX. SOXX hit all-time highs, y'all. The semis are strong and running to the moon. Next, we got XLG is down fractionally. The IVES 30 is up 0.25%. SPYI is barely over break even. QQQI is barely over break even. All right, let's check out the sectors. All right, let me refresh. Let's check out the heat map. All right. I see a lot of gray. A lot of gray. That means it's between 0.5% up and 0.5% down. See a lot of gray. See a lot of red in healthcare. In healthcare technology, like Eli Lilly's down 3.5%. Johnson & Johnson down 1.25%. I forgot what that is. I think it's Mercado Libre. No. I forget. Yeah, it's a lot of gray on here though. We do got some green here in technology, AMD. But yeah, it's mostly a gray day so far. I think it's gonna be volatile. We did have Trump talking at 5:30 a.m. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to the news. XLK hit all-time highs today, y'all. Got all-time highs today. And by the way, it's up almost 0.25%. XLY is up about 0.5%. Communications is barely under break even. Energy is up 0.25%. Financials is up over 0.5%. Healthcare is down 0.75%. Consumer staples is down about almost 0.5%. Utilities down almost 0.5%. Industrials is up 0.25%. Materials is up almost 0.5%. And the real estate sector is down almost 0.5%. All right, let's put our 8-chart display on here while we get to the news. Top left-hand corner, we have NVDA. To the right of that, we got Apple, Google, Microsoft. Underneath NVIDIA, we got Amazon, TSM, AVGO, and Meta Platforms. All right, let's check out this news, y'all. Oh, actually, oh man, this man Trump. All right, so Tim Cook announced he's gonna step down, and the other guy's gonna step up. I forget his name, but this is what Trump had to say about that. It's a lot, so I'm gonna try to read it right quick. Try to read it like Corey always tells Darlene on the 5150 show. All right, Trump said this. I have always been a big fan of Tim Cook and likewise Steve Jobs. But if Steve was not taken from the planet so young and ran the company instead of Tim, the company would have done well, but nowhere near as well as it has under Tim. For me, it began with a phone call from Tim at the beginning of my first term. He had a fairly large problem that only I, as president, could fix. Most people would have paid millions of dollars to a consult who I probably would have not known, but who would say that he knew me well. The fees would have been paid, but the job would have not gotten done. When I got the call, I said, wow, it's Tim Cook. It's Tim Cook calling. How big is that? I was very impressed with myself to have the head of Apple calling to kiss my ass. Anyway, he explained his problem, a tough one it was. I felt he was right and got it taken care of quickly and effectively. That was the beginning of a very long and nice relationship. During my 5 years as president, Tim would call me, but never too much. I would help him where I could. Years later, after 3 or 4 big helps, I started to say to people, anyone who would listen, that this guy is an amazing manager and leader. He makes these calls to me. I help him out, but not always, because he will, on occasion, be too aggressive in his ask. And he gets the job done quickly, without a dime being given to those very expensive millions of dollars. Consults around town who sometimes get it done and sometimes don't. Anyway, Tim Cook had an amazing career, almost incomparable, and will go on to continue to do great work for Apple and whatever else he chooses to work on. Quite simply, Tim Cook is an amazing guy. President Donald J. Trump. This Trump made Tim Cook stepping down about him. Just incredible, y'all. Just ridiculous. All right, more Tim Cook news, Apple news. If you had invested $10,000 into Apple when Cook took over as CEO 15 years ago, that was August of 2021, you will currently have $205,000. I can't even read this fucking number. Let's just say 205,000, y'all. 205,000. Start with 10,000, y'all. Hold for the long term. Next, JP Morgan analysts raised its year-end price target for the S&P 500 back to 7,600 after it had previously downgraded to 7,200. It sounds like good news to me, y'all. All right, this is what Trump is doing today. Executive time at 5 a.m. Interview on CNBC at 5:30 a.m. Pool call time at 6 a.m. All right. Policy meetings later in the day. And remarks about the the NCAA championships. I almost said NAACP. You know Trump don't care about that. All right, next. In China is destroying the U.S. when it comes to their robots, because I see robots. A robot completed a half marathon race in Beijing on Sunday, with the fastest machine leaving its human rivals in the dust. You can see this thing running, y'all. Elon talking about he got the best robots. Shit, not even close, man. You got people that's running the marathon pulling their phones out so they can record the robot running past them. Just incredible. All right, next, Mizuno raised its price target on Robinhood to $115 from $105 while maintaining its outperform rating. Let's go. Sound good. All right, next. Data centers now account for around 7% of the total power demand. As you can see on this map, we got a lot in the Bay and LA, San Diego area, New York area. But shit, they all over the Midwest, down south, Northwest. So, yeah. Imagine what that's going to look like in 2030 and 2040. I seen a video of Trap talking about how many gallons of water those data centers use. I think he said like 300,000 gallons a day. That's crazy, huh? Yeah. You think that's gonna make us run out of water if we got all these data centers and they taking 300,000 gallons a day? Yeah, we're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to convert this salt water to fresh water so they can do that. I guess they can't do it with salt water. Or maybe they'll save money by using fresh water. So they don't want to spend that to convert it. Anyway, next, Google will reportedly announce its new generation of custom AI chips known as TPUs at the Google Cloud Next event this week, y'all. You ready for that? All right. Next, we got the U.S. wage growth gap is historically wide after tax wages for higher income households rose 5.5% year over year in March on a 3-month moving average basis, the highest in at least 3 years. At the same time, lower income earners saw their wages grow just 1% year over year, near the lowest in at least 3 years. That means the gap is widening, y'all, and it's the widest it's been in over a decade. All right, I thought this was dope. Karen S. Carter to become the first black woman CEO of the $26 billion public company Dow Chemical Inc. Salute to this sister right here, yeah. Next, we got an interview from Lisa Su. We got about a 1-minute clip. Check it out, y'all.
MI300.
MI300, got it.
So, MI300.
MI300, you got it.
You heard it here first. Performance-wise, this is going to be competitive with the H100 or exceed the H100?
It is definitely going to be competitive from training workloads type things. But one of the things that we've done, and in the AI market, there's no one size fits all as it relates to chips. There are some that are going to be exceptional for training. There are some that are going to be exceptional for inference, and that depends on how you put it together. What we've done with MI300 is we've built an exceptional product for inference, especially large language model inference. So when we look going forward, much of what work is done right now is companies kind of training and deciding what their models are going to be. But going forward, we actually think inference is going to be a larger market, and that plays well into some of what we've designed MI300 for.
If you look at what sort of the Wall Street thinks NVIDIA's mode is, it's CUDA, it's the proprietary.
AMD hit all-time highs yesterday, y'all. The semis are back. Such an incredible run from the lows of 2022, y'all. Remember, NVIDIA went to $70. Now it's almost $300. Shout out Lisa Su.
So, MI300.
Next, quick clip from Bill Ackman. 38-second clip. Check it out.
Buffett once said, diversification is protection against ignorance. If you don't know a lot about the companies that you're investing in, you want to invest in a lot of companies because the diversification will protect you from mistakes. If you have the ability to do deep due diligence on companies, and I would say as significantly, if you have the nature of your strategy allows you to have a lot of influence over those companies, you really want to pick the best dozen or so companies as opposed to dilute the top 12 or the top 15 with ideas 16, 17, 20, 25, 50. I think it's very hard to outperform the market once you become a Buffett once.
There it is, y'all. If you don't know what you're doing, diversify. Just buy SPY or in Qs. If you do know what you're doing, just pick the best companies in the world. That's it. So that makes sense when Ian say 2 tech, 2 index, no stress. Man, I gotta consolidate my portfolio, man. I got too many positions. Yes, I got the best companies in the world, but shit, I got too many. I gotta figure it out, y'all. Gotta figure it out. How can I get it down? How can I get it down to 4 positions? All right, I thought this was interesting. So this is according to 2025 data. Amazon brought in $1 million of revenue every 43 seconds. Apple, $1 million of revenue every 69 seconds. Google, $1 million in revenue, same time, 69 seconds. Microsoft, $1 million in revenue every 91 seconds. Costco, $1 million in revenue every 107 seconds. NVDA brought in $1 million in revenue every 129 seconds. Meta, 137 seconds. JP Morgan, 152 seconds. Tesla, 251 seconds. Disney, 309. Wow, I'm surprised to hear Disney. Nike, every 577 seconds, $1 million of revenue. Wow, but that shit, their stock is doing terrible. Netflix, $1 million in revenue every 611 seconds. Starbucks, 731 seconds. And McDonald's, $1 million in revenue every 993 seconds, y'all. These companies are insane. Next. President Trump's family real estate firm is planning to build a 70-story luxury tower with local partners in, I don't know how to say that, the capital city of Georgia. I'm not even going to try to say it. Tbilisi. That's probably it. There you go. Tbilisi. 70-story luxury tower. All right, next. There are now 2 companies that can launch rockets into space and land them successfully back on Earth. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin successfully launched and landed their rocket back on Earth for the 2nd time in a row, y'all. Pretty dope. That's pretty dope, y'all. What's wrong with this video? That thing is chopping up. It was smooth before. But yeah, that thing landed. It landed on the water. It had a nice landing pad on the water, and that thing landed smoothly. But the video tripping, so we ain't gonna play it. Alright, we got a CEO. Hold on, that's a lot of news. Let's go ahead and let's run these numbers. Let's see where we at. SPY making a nice recovery, y'all. SPY broke high day. Let's get it. SPY's up 0.25% at 710.78. QQQ trying to break high day. It's about 30 cents away. It's up 0.25% at 648.63. The VIX maxed out at 1939 and is now at 1912. NVIDIA is down 0.33% at 201.37. Tesla is down fractionally at 392. Apple's down 0.5% at 271.53. Google is up 0.33%. Microsoft running, y'all. Microsoft is up almost 1.5%. Looking very strong. I do got a level here at 424.60 if you want to take some profits right there. Amazon is up over 2% at 253.64. TSM is up almost 1%. It's back at pre-market high levels. Meta is up 0.5%. Meta trying to They don't want to break this high a day. Break about 50 cents away. AVGO is down 0.5%. Looks like it got a nice bounce though. It's gonna come back. BRK.B barely over break even. Walmart barely under break even. Alright. Let's put the heat map up here while we look at some more news. How y'all like this theme music though? I got a lot of different varieties, you feel me? And they all slapping. The vocals, phenomenal vocals. Yeah, the music industry is in trouble, y'all. Cause you can hear that. Can you believe that's AI, y'all? They singing the hell out of that song, y'all. Let's get it. Next, we got the CEO of Anthropic, Dario. Let's check it out.
AI for 10 years. So just to back up a bit, I've been working on AI for 10 years, and probably the thing I've noticed most about it is how fast it's making progress. 2 years ago, it was at the level of a smart high school student. Now it's probably at the level of a smart college student and reaching beyond that. And on one hand, I think there's a number of very positive things that are going to happen. I used to be a biologist. I think AI has exactly the kind of skills that are needed to cure important diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's, to provide cheaper energy, many positive things. But exactly those same kind of skills, things like summarizing a document, brainstorming, putting together a financial report, makes me worry a lot that entry-level jobs in areas like finance, consulting, tech, many other areas like that, entry-level white-collar work, I worry that those things are going to be first augmented, but before long replaced by AI systems, and that we may indeed. It's hard to predict the future, but we may indeed have a serious employment crisis on our hands as the pipeline for these early stage white collar work starts to contract and dry up.
How will the government react when that happens? That's going to be very interesting. Will that be the time where high universal income, like Elon been talking about, like Andrew Yang was talking about? He would have got my vote too if he would have got further in the running for president. I'm all for universal income. I'm also for reparations too. Shoot. Oh, did y'all see that clip? Did y'all see the clip where Brother Black Alpha went to a Kamala Harris speaking event and told her what's going on? Told her, no check, no vote. No check, no vote. We not scared of Trump. Trump is racist. Biden is racist. Kamala, you racist. No check, no vote. This is foundational Black Americans speaking. Woo. Shout out to that brother. And then there was another brother that did something very similar. He got the points off. I don't remember exactly what they were, but man, I should try to find that clip and play it tomorrow. I might have to do that. All right. But that was, man, incredible. All right, next. Check out in China.
This is the real map. This is the lobby.
This is immersive 3D screen.
It's alive.
This looks so freaking dope. They can charge a lot of money for this type of movie going experience. It looks so real. You are in the movie, y'all. This is incredible. Once again, China has better technology than the United States. like 5 seats right there. But shoot, they can figure it out, make it profitable. That's super dope. Especially the type of, man, come on now, y'all. America, step it up. All right. We got a 1-minute clip from Elon. Remember, I didn't get to the news yesterday. That's why I got all this extra news.
Yeah, well, I think I'd certainly encourage people to look at our semi-truck presentation because, in fact, one of the things we emphasize with an electric semi-truck is that it's much more energy efficient than a diesel truck. You know, so I mean, you get things like regenerative braking. So, like, let's say you're going over a mountain range. Well, in a diesel truck, you actually don't capture that the energy of height or potential energy. You have to actually spend a lot of money on expensive brakes going down the other side, so you don't run out of control. So whereas an electric semi-truck is able to recapture the energy, the gravitational potential energy, and actually when it goes down the other side, does not overheat the brakes, and in fact puts the energy back in the pack. So things like that are incredibly helpful for.
They need to be selling more of them trucks, man. What's going on? Next, Microsoft CEO Satya said our Fairwater data center in Wisconsin is going live ahead of schedule. Maybe that's why Microsoft is up today. It's up over 1%. Oh, look at this, y'all. Look at this robot sorting packages. This is called the Vulcan, the new AI robot controller. So not only taking white collar jobs, he's taking these jobs too, y'all, in the warehouse, sorting packages. Yes, sir. All right. Oh, yeah, this was crazy. So this is from Uncle Charles. This is called Really Reinventing Your Company. From sneakers and clothing to AI compute. It's up 700%. You can't make this stuff up. LOL. So they went from sneakers and clothing to AI compute, and now they're up 700%. That thing moving like a meme stock, y'all. All birds. Hey, it worked. Let's see if it can last. This clip is Elon talking about they got the best robots. Well, until you race the Chinese robots in the marathon, I don't want to hear that shit. All right, next, we got some motivation for Wallow. Every disciplined day compounds into undeniable results. Next, from 19 Keys. They brought up high-level conversations in Congress this week, y'all. That's pretty dope. Remember when he interviewed RFK Jr.? They actually talked about that interview in Congress and shouted out high-level conversations. So that's pretty dope. That's impact right there, y'all. All right. Next from Elon. Universal high income via checks issued by the federal government is the best way to deal with unemployment caused by AI. AI/robotics will produce goods and services far in excess of the increase in the money supply, so there will not be inflation. All right, next, another one from 19 Keys. He said, here's what I learned today using AI. Goose, Ngrams, harnesses, meme context tool, MCP forensic scanner, dynamic memory layer, hierarchical intelligence organization. So you can check those out because yeah, he definitely using AI to learn, man. Not just play. I thought this was interesting. This is from Reuters Business. There's an Indian startup. Check it out. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but check it out.
Lakshmi Salver waits for a moment by the door. before she is welcomed into a house in New Delhi and greeted by her boss for the day. She's one face of the country's newest consumer craze, on-demand house help for as little as $1 per hour. Though that doesn't sound much, it can mean annual earnings of up to $5,000, far above the country's average income. After exchanging details and confirming her identity, the timer starts for Salvar. Customer Sheetal Dal booked the service through the Pronto app, which promises house help in minutes.
It's very economical, it's very hygienic, and it's safe.
As their police identification is already done. This is instant help, and you don't have to wait for anything. You can schedule it also. And I think it is good to go with whatever you're comfortable with. You can get help according to your convenience.
आपकी convenience के accordingly आपको help मिलती है.
In Gurugram, a group of women preparing to be houseworkers under Pronto are shown how to wash dishes. Senior trainer Balbir Singh says workers are thoroughly prepared.
In practical, we are teaching them so how you have to groom yourself, how you have to clean the washrooms, how you have to do the ironing, you have to do the preparation of kitchens. So these are all covered in Pronto.
Pronto aims to supply workers to homes in about 10 minutes, and it doesn't have the new boom all to itself. Rivals include Urban Company, which says it had about 50,000 daily bookings in February. It estimates India's cleaning services market is worth about $9 billion a year. Growth is boosted by the country's tradition of outsourcing.
They was paying $1 an hour. Or $1 a day. I don't forgot. This technology keeps on messing up. So, but yeah, they was just having in India. They was paying people to just come clean their house for like $1 a day, or $1 an hour. Something crazy. I was trying to find out how much that is, converting it to American dollars, but then that's when the technology kept on tripping. So we're just gonna end the show, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let me know what you think about the theme music. Put it in the comments or send it to the DM. And go ahead and share this to your Twitter, y'all. Share it, even if you don't got hella followers. I don't. But I'm still sharing it. You never know who you can help with this knowledge. All right. We'll be back tomorrow in the pre-market. Stock's looking good, though. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.